Hi, I'm going to explain what happened. So my ex decided to file suit in his non-legal name, and he and his attorney decided that he would do this with this passport right here. So that's him. He never updated his passport to his full legal name. Okay, so he files suit in his non-legal name, Kevin Alfonsi, and he does not submit any of the required documents for divorce because Kevin Alfonsi doesn't have to, right? Because he's not using his legal name, which was Kevin Alfonsi LG. Okay, he's getting help from court officials to do a fraudulent divorce, trap me on my property, and then they just attack me repeatedly for 9 years in court. Okay, so why do I say he didn't use his legal name? Okay, well, here's a promissory note that he signed. He filed for divorce on October 6th, 2015. Previously to him filing for divorce in his non-legal name, he goes and gets a promissory note at Matt Valley Federal Credit Union, right? Right there. And of course, they require him to use his legal name that's on bank accounts, right? So, and he also signs the promissory note in his legal name, Kevin Alfonsi LG. Okay, so that's the promissory note right there. Okay, that's the first page of the promissory note right there. Okay, so we know that he signed a promissory note in the name Kevin Alfonsi LG. All right. Okay, and we know that his attorney marks this as plaintiff's initial 26.1, and we know he has bank accounts in what name? Kevin Alfonsi LG, and that's the business that he hid from court that he was still operating. He was still operating that business from court. So he's not using his legal name. He's lying and saying this business shut down in 1/1/2014 when it was continuing to generate income, right? Okay, and he was still running it. Okay, so we know that, right? And he also hid this joint account and the money in it, right? There's a nice little $14,959 that's in our name that they hide from court, right? I have an attorney, so they're letting me think I can't have anything to do with anything, right? And my attorney's handling all this for me. So there's his name right there, right? Okay, and it's also at Matt Valley Federal Credit Union. There's the account number that it's under, okay, and it's 4/1/2015. So if he's filing for divorce on 10/6/2015, this is relevant information, right? And his attorney even marks it, plaintiff's initial 26.1, right? So yeah, there's money stolen from me in this account amongst business assets, you name it, it's stolen. The correct amount of child support is stolen. Okay, so then what else are we hiding in that name? Well, we're hiding this construction company. What are they hiding? That they stole all the assets from Trailside Log Cabins LLC and my share of those assets, and they gave them to this company. And his name on this company, he says, is Kevin LG. Yeah, that's our address right there, by the way. Yeah. So he just had a heyday, right? And he gets officials to help him hide his name. Okay. So we know he's filed for divorce in his non-legal name. We know that he used this passport to do it. And he doesn't want a legal divorce because, well, eventually he wants to be murdered, right? Because if I don't have a legal divorce in his legal name, they could just walk right in and take the estate and then divide up the insurance money amongst him and officials, right? They could do that, right? Okay. They could do that, lock me in a basement or make me disappear. Who's going to look for me after all? That's the intent, right? Or kill me, whichever. You go ahead. Do whatever you wish. I don't care anymore. So there it is. His name, though, right before he files for divorce, right? His name is Kevin Alfonsi LG, because that's his legal name on his driver's license. And it's attached to court cases, right? Because this is a PFD, Permanent Fund Division, is related to the oil. And every year, every citizen in Alaska gets a PFD, okay? And a PFD check related to their oil sales, okay? Or the investments that are done in Alaska. Every citizen gets a PFD. So then people go and they garnish those PFD checks for judgments, right? So in 2014, there's 3 creditors looking for Kevin Alfonsi Elgie because that's his legal name. And this report was generated on February 11th, 2015 for the 2014 PFD. Okay, and those are the judgments in his legal name. The name they go later on, the court system helps him to hide this name too, right? Okay, so now we're in divorce. Divorce was filed 10/6/2015. This report was generated February 11th, 2015 for the 2014 PFD, which you can find easily online because it's the only PFD attachment that's going to show up on a Google search for that name, right? Okay, so now he's filed for divorce though on October 6, 2015. So we've got some issues because we're hiding a name in the court system now, right? And we've got his legal name here. We got to get rid of that sucker. We got to hide his legal name. Okay, so we did. So the next year, after he files suit in his non-legal name, okay, now we're going on to the 2015 PFD. Okay, the report is generated on February 19th, 2016. You know, he files for divorce on 10/6/2015. So a few months later, his legal name, when he files for divorce in his non-legal name, all of a sudden his name gets changed on those exact judgments that were for Kevin Alfonsi Elgie, right? So we got Kevin Alfonsi Elgie here in 2014, right? And then now the name is changed to Kevin Alfonsi. Same exact judgments, right? Same exact judgments. So anyway, they're helping him what? They're helping him hide his name. So what does he continue to get? He's going to continue to get PFDs. And those creditors that are looking for him for these judgments, they don't know. They put in judgments to be withheld for Kevin Alfonsi Elgie. They don't know the court system's now gone out of their way because, well, his name's now Kevin Alfonsi. How'd that happen? How did that happen? Okay, so anyway, poor creditors, they have no idea that he's being helped to hide his name because he's filed a pretended divorce against his wife in court, right? Okay, so now we're going to go on and we're going to do the exact same thing. So there's a report generated on Wednesday, March 1st, 2017. They're still helping him hide his legal name because he's got a pretended divorce filed. Nobody wants his legal name popping up anywhere. So they're going to erase it from the court system. So when you go to the court system now and type in his legal name, Kevin Alfonsi Elgie, that sucker disappears, right? So then they issue me, I have no idea, I've gone through this pretended divorce. He's lied to me, told me he changed his name back to Kevin Alfonsi. I have no idea. You know, he's lied to me. So they generate a divorce decree for me, right? And what happens is I have a friend that comes on and he says, hey, Kim, your divorce is fake. It's not real. It's a pretended divorce. You know, I'm like, what is he talking about? You know, I go, I'm going to go to Vital Statistics. I'm going to get a certificate of divorce, right? So I go to Vital Statistics. I take this with me, and they come back and they say they have no records found of a divorce. They're like, nope. And I said, how do I prove it? And she goes, we can print you out a no records found certification. So she does. What is this number? It's 001644511516. Okay, so anyway, she does that. She prints me out these records not found for the name Kevin Alfonsi. She couldn't find a divorce. Why? Why couldn't she do that? Well, because when they went and they filed divorce, they didn't send in the VS-401 certificate of divorce form or any of the other things on the list. So yeah, they never got that. But what they did get was a name change thing, motion to amend decree and restore plaintiff's maiden name. They got that. Yeah, so they got that. And so she shows me it. I'm there. I'm like, what do you mean he changed his name? And she goes, well, your husband's name was Kevin Alfonsi Elgie on his driver's license. She goes, we got the motion to amend decree of divorce and restore plaintiff's maiden name, you know, and I'm like, what's his name? And she said it was Kevin Alfonsi Elgie on his driver's license. The DMV changed Mr. Alfonsi's name to LG Alfonsi following his marriage. DMV will not restore the name of Alfonsi to the plaintiff without a court order. So I'm just like, what the hell? So she said, so the courthouse never sent in this decree, and if they did, we would have had to return it because they didn't have the right. Your husband didn't sue you in his legal name. We can't give you a certificate of divorce. We can't do it. I'm like, great, you know. So anyway, they print me up, you know, these records and stuff and send me on my way. They give me so anyway, I get those. I get the receipt for him not filing suit in his legal name. And, you know, and then I find out that he got a court order to change his name to Kevin Alfonsi. I have no idea that. How can you change his name to Kevin Alfonsi when you let him use that name all the way through court? I mean, you let him use the name Kevin Alfonsi on 10/6/2015 when he filed suit, but he doesn't actually get a court order to use that name till 2 years later on 10/24/2017. Well, he got an inside job going, right? There's an inside job going. So, you know, there he is, you know, with his legal name right there, right? And he's getting a PFD in that name, and these people are attaching it to judgments, right? So, okay. And then they just go out of the way to help him hide that name. So I go back, you know, after I go to Vital Statistics, and they get me a receipt of no divorce found, no proof of divorce for Kevin Alfonsi or Kevin Alfonsi LG, you know, on for divorce, no records found, right? Okay. And it was July 5th, almost 2 years after divorce. I go to them and they print this out for me. Then I go back to the courthouse and I'm like, hey, he didn't file suit in his legal name. I need a certificate of divorce, or I mean a divorce decree first issued in his name. Well, he opposes me because they've got an agenda for my future murder and demise. They're locked up in a room forever. Total control. He wants total control, and officials want control of me too. So anyway, plaintiff's opposition to the defendant's motion for a legal divorce decree with the trial courts and a recording at Vital Statistics. And cross motion for request for document preparation because he's so greedy. He stole hundreds of thousands of dollars from me, but he wants his $180 back, right? So anyway, we'll just go down here. We're going to get to the fine points. The plaintiff at the time tried using her name as his last name only through DMV for his driver's license. I have never changed my name legally. This was done to appease the defendant at the time. Okay, so, well, we know he's lying, and we've got bank accounts and everything issued in his legal name, right? So, you know, he's clearly lying. He's saying, I've never used the name Kevin Alfonsi LG on anything legal. You know, I haven't done it. This promissory note is fraudulent, apparently. Just everything's fraudulent. Everything in my legal name's fraudulent. Okay, so that happens, okay? So I even say to his attorney later on, I say, your firm's proof of the passport fraud, they're the ones that sent me the picture of the passport that showed how he filed suit in his non-legal name. So I'm talking to his attorney, and she's like, well, the judge hasn't said the divorce is illegal. Well, yeah, well, he might not have, but it's illegal because he didn't use his legal name. You can't even... In just the Federal Trade Commission, you use a non-legal name, they void that because you entered a false contract. You did it on purpose to obtain money from somebody, you know. So anyway, everybody's in court, even the judges, guardianship judges, call him Mr. Alfonsi. Anyway, I try to go and try to get a legal divorce decree issued in his legal name, and I'm denied, you know. They won't let me have it, right? So they're forcing me coercively to participate in an illegal divorce for 9 years. 9 years, okay? So, so he doesn't, even in the illegal case, he doesn't get a motion, you know, it says order granting motion to amend decree of divorce and restore his plaintiff's maiden name. Well, that was the name anyway on the order, so or on the original decree, so what are they restoring? So they're saying he can't even use the name he filed suit in until he got a court order. This is a court order, right? And so it's issued on 10/24/2017. So how did these PFD attachments were in his legal name, okay? He files for divorce in his non-legal name, okay? And then all of a sudden, the same judgments too that are in that name, Kavanaugh Feinstein LG. Now the next year, those judgments get changed to this name to match what? To match this fraudulent name on this passport, you know? That's what, yeah. So we have a pretty bad case of identity fraud, you know, used to steal hundreds of thousands of dollars from me. So I go, because they never submitted they never submitted anything in this order. So on June 6th, the case still open. So on June 6th, 2024, I go and June 4th, 2024, I submit the 2014 tax returns that were never submitted for this fraudulent divorce. And of course, it's a whole fraudulent case. So they say, well, it's too late for you to submit them now. And you get a whole bunch of judgments and fines and blah, you know? And it's just like, there's wives that drag their husbands back to court after 20 years or 15, whatever, to say, hey, he hid, you know, bank accounts in Sweden. We found them. I want part of it. But not in this case. Not in this case. It's not going to happen. So we know he was helped to hide his legal name. He filed for divorce on 10/6/2015. He went out of his way with this passport to hide his legal name from court. And he got help from officials to do it.